I know, I heard you guys loud and clear, and I agree. The Plight Before Christmas is Bob's Burgers' best Christmas episode, maybe even a perfect one at that, and arguably Bob's Burgers' best episode to date, period. Christmas or not. But why did so many people resonate with it? What makes this one so gosh darn special? Well, today I'm going to do my best to explain, so let's dive in. So, as we did in the last Bob's Burgers Christmas video, we'll start off by going beat by beat, highlighting the big moments and the key takeaways along the way, before ending with the big hurrah, the thing that I think makes this episode stand out so gosh darn much, which, spoiler alert, is probably some of my favorite pieces of character work within the entire show. So with that said, let's get started at the beginning, which of course opens up with a choice.
There she is. You ready to go?
Yeah, who's taking me to the library?
Thing or Jean's thing?
Sorry,
Wait, what?
Who's
You want to go to
taking me
Tina's
to the
thing
library?
or Jean's thing?
Wait, what's happening?
Remember the holiday poetry contest at the library? I got selected to read my poem.
That's
tonight?
Sounds like you're both excited about it.
I thought it was tomorrow.
I only know what she knows.
As we discussed last time, Bob's Burgers Christmas specials all revolve around doing the right thing. It's not about the amount of presents under the tree or any accolades or admiration that one can receive. Bob's Burgers consistently states that Christmas should be about the season of giving, especially the importance of the sacrifice behind these righteous acts. Without sacrifice, no gift has meaning, whether it's measured by time invested, money spent, or the amount of thought behind a gift. Presents mean nothing without sacrifice, nothing without the people behind them. And so to kick things off, this episode quickly throws our family into a corner, and most especially Linda.
It's her greatest work.
Oh, I'm so sad. I'm gonna miss it.
How did you two choose who was gonna go to what? Flipped a coin. Calmly flipped a coin.
Cut me in half so I can go to both. Oh, God.
Oh, crap.
Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
It's under the fridge. I got it.
I almost threw up.
Linda has always been the overzealous type of parent. All she wants is to be there for her kids and support them in all their endeavors. She prides herself as a mother on her ability to juggle life's innumerable events, and thus she feels sick to her stomach whenever she fails, when there's nothing she can do to remedy the inevitable problems that come with having a full plate. And I love how faithfully her character is treated in every one of these Christmas episodes. Again, we talked about this quite a bit in our discussion on the nice-capades, so I won't harp on the subject too much, but it should be obvious how perfectly this episode is set up by this quick scene. Because what do you know, Louise is throwing them a curveball, throwing a wrench into their works because she has something special going on tonight too. That's right, a third performance.
You know the drill. Every year I enter a poem with the word poop in it so that if it gets selected, I get to say poop in the library. And they put the poem on the wall for a month.
Wow. 2 parents, 3 kids, Christmas performances.
Dear God, why? There's gotta be a way. What time does everyone's thing start?
6.
But have no fear, quick-thinking Bob decides that Louise can simply recreate her poem for the family later that night. An easy enough solution, right?
Lynn, you drop her at the library on the way to City Hall and then pick her up on your way back. I will walk over to the school with Jean. Louise, you'll just have to kind of recreate the reading for us tonight, okay?
This is the worst day of my life.
Yep, so we should go.
This is killing me.
Oh my God.
Now, you may be saying, whew, all is good. Luckily, everything will work out just fine. And who could blame you? Despite Linda's outward disapproval of the situation and her obvious fear of seeming like a bad mother, everyone is able to move on with their night. Everyone except Tina, who sees through Louise's facade of feigning disinterest.
I still think you should have submitted something from the heart this year, not so much about poop.
I know, that would have been hilarious.
But didn't you say you wrote a dumb, serious one? Which are your words, not mine. Can I just see your folder? I thought I saw you put something.
Tina, enough! I'm not gonna be poop shamed during the holiday.
And this is our big hint to nefarious or sneakily good events taking place. Because even though Louise is masking her true feelings about not even wanting the family there, which she would never allow herself to outwardly show or admit, Tina is still suspicious about her true intentions. And while this is a hint to the big plot reveal just around the corner, it's also a big indicator of where our characters are heading in terms of their overall development. Louise has always been stringent on opening up emotionally, and she now has not only the slightest of desires to, but also a fantastic opportunity to do it in the proper setting. And Tina is set up to have an amazing arc as the big sister. She's always been the responsible one, having to take on the role of the babysitter or the caretaker, the trusty sidekick. She's always been there to serve as the best teenage role model she can be for her younger siblings. And now she has a real chance to actually get through to Louise and encourage her to open up, to help her overcome her greatest challenge throughout the show's run. Now, I know I've spent a lot of time on just the first few minutes of the episode here, but I find it amazing and important to understand just how flawlessly it's managed to set up all of these arcs with one fell swoop, and as sneakily as Louise believes she's being with her actions.
I just need a ride. You don't have to stay. In fact, I don't want you there. If you tried to stay, I'd say, go on, get, and I'd spray you with a hose.
For while Bob and Jean are dealing with their own struggles, the Belcher girls are going through extreme amounts of growth, leading up to the single most powerful moment in the show's history. Now, as I mentioned, while all this is happening to Linda, Tina, and Louise, Jean and Bob are also going through some hurdles of their own.
Hi, I'm Rachel. Miss Bisselbender. I'm the substitute music teacher.
What? Well, I'm not sure we can do this without Miss Merkin directing us. She kind of realized that none of us were good at reading music, so she came up with a system.
And this is probably my only gripe with this episode. However, given where it all leads, especially Jean's leadership, I'm willing to forgive it. But in my opinion, this shouldn't be a real problem for Jean in the first place. Maybe for the rest of his class, but Jean should be the music enthusiast that he's always been since the show's inception. I mean, his love for music is his main character trait, so it's hard for me to buy that he doesn't know how to properly read music. But anyways, I'm getting off track.
They basically just say to look at her and she'll tell you what to do with her hands. Mm-hmm. At the same time, even though some of you play different notes. Mm-hmm. That doesn't seem... Is that possible?
Miss Merkin's in Mensa. She's on a whole other level.
Would you say this is important to you guys?
Yeah.
Miss Merkin's my favorite teacher.
All these roadblocks gunk up the works within the ensemble, as the substitute just isn't Miss Merkin. So, needless to say, the concert does not start off well. However, putting this obstacle in front of Jean allows him to step up and be the true leader of the xylophone class, opting to teach them music himself, and in the most Jean way possible.
We probably have about 1 minute. Anyone want to explain music to me real quick so I can make it happen with my arms somehow tonight?
I'll start at the beginning. I'll start with Prince. Who's got an MP3 player? How are you with explicit lyrics?
This storyline shows us a glimpse of Jean's true musical prowess as he orchestrates a master plan to pull off at least one good song at the recital. And as we all know, this sets up one of the best songs used within the show, and one of the best endings as well.
Should we just not play anymore? Like at all? Ever? As a group of people?
Wait, that's it.
It is?
No, yeah, we're playing too much. Too many notes. What if we have fewer choices?
I don't know what you mean, but I love this tone of voice.
Now, during all of this, 3 important things are happening to really drive up the stakes, drive up that dramatic tension, and set up the best misdirection the show's ever done. First, we get the big reveal, and quite early on in the episode, Knives Out style, that Louise doesn't plan on reciting her yearly poop poem. She actually did write a genuine, heartfelt poem and intends to read that instead. And what do you know, it was Tina who pieced it all together.
Oh my god.
What, you gotta pee?
No, Mom, I think Louise wrote a real poem for that library contest. I think she was embarrassed to admit that it might actually be important to her.
What?
Secondly, we get a bunch of short clips showcasing Louise's nervousness and then indecision after this reveal.
What was I thinking? I can't read this. What if they hate it? I could read this one.
She's going back and forth on whether or not she should read the poop poem or the heartfelt one that was actually picked for this recital. Another choice between doing the right thing or the easy thing that she's always done, deflecting her true innermost feelings. And this choice comes down to the freaking wire. But lastly, the third big thing happening here is throwing Bob into the mix, and more importantly, into a hilarious cab ride.
Are you taking me to the library?
You said refinery.
No. What? Oh my God, we're going the wrong way.
Bob has been instructed to ditch the failed concert, unwittingly ditching one of Jean's proudest moments as he takes charge behind the curtain so that he can be there for Louise in her most vulnerable moment. However, Bob is not important. Sorry, Bob. Bob is actually a red herring. He is simply there to raise the stakes, to trick us, the audience, into thinking that maybe, just maybe, no one will show up for Louise and she'll revert to telling her stupid poop poem. Just like a magic trick, Bob is making us look over here when the second big reveal is actually happening over there. For you see, while all of this is going down, Linda is frozen with indecision herself, worried about being a bad mom, struggling with deciding the right thing to do, the through-line theme of all these Bob's Burgers Christmas episodes.
I have 4 other parts too, but the star's kind of a through line.
Watch your back. She's gunning for you.
Linda doesn't want to have to choose between her kids, which if anything is a sign of how good a mother she actually is, but that's what leads to the best part of this episode in my mind. Tina chooses for her. That's right, while Linda is frozen in fear, Tina takes charge, making it apparent to us, the audience, that Bob was just a red herring. It was all about Tina the entire time, who is sneaking away from her own production to be there for her sister. Which is just, so good. Tina manages to make it just in time to support her sister, and Louisa's telling smile here lovingly confirms that she knows she made the right choice. And man, with the music crescendoing in the background, the multiple reveals, the touching character moments, all this and more build up to the most powerful and emotionally authentic moment within the show, in my humble opinion. Honestly, it's no wonder why this is the highest rated episode so far. But furthermore, what's left unsaid that I think is so remarkable about how subtle character development can be is what to make of Linda. While watching this for the first time last year, my initial thought was, man, Linda must feel so proud right now. She spent the whole episode worrying about being a bad mother, and yet she's probably the biggest winner by the end of it. Because Tina couldn't have proved her more wrong. Sure, Linda didn't make the tough decision, but she raised the kid that could. 3 of them, in fact. Jean, who took charge to deliver a Christmas miracle. Louise, who decided to do the right thing and embrace the vulnerable and heartfelt moment. And Tina, who sacrificed her own performance to simply be there for Louise's, which, as Louise's poem confirms, is the best gift of all.
But the best presents are sitting here, and they aren't even wrapped up.
Louise feigned disinterest in the beginning of this episode, claiming she didn't want her family there, but the poem she wrote inherently had the most meaning to her and her family. The poem and action of reciting it really only had meaning if her family showed up to hear it. This episode is so dear to me, and I think resonates with so many other people because in every angle you look at it, the lesson is that doing the right thing, but also family, are the true meanings of Christmas. So often we focus on doing the right thing outwardly in public, having integrity, helping our neighbor, assisting a stranger, but how often do we focus on treating our own family right? Hopefully it's just as often, if not more. But if that's not the case, well, then this episode is a festive reminder of what truly matters. At the end of the day, life is all about our loved ones, the ones we cherish the most, the ones we argue with the most, the ones we grow with the most. So don't be stringent on your feelings or your family this year. You don't have to spend money to show them how much you care. We only have one life, and it's our duty to make it worth living. And the easiest way to do that is to surround yourself with the ones who matter most and to embrace them. Honestly, it's funny to me how this Christmas episode is barely about Christmas at all. It's more of a winter episode, really, that just happens to take place around and then on Christmas. When you think about it, it's as much a Christmas special as Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Oh, boo me all you want, you know I'm right. But seriously, this episode is not about the lights or the gifts or Christmas Day itself. And yet, it's somehow the most Christmas episode of them all. It's the one that really gets to the point of it. Well, the most secular point anyways. The one that embraces the Christmas spirit best. Because it harps on that notion of doing the right thing, doing the vulnerable thing, and growing closer as a family. So many Christmas specials and movies have come and gone and tried to force this very same lesson by the end, but they're often so in your face about the season of giving and family.
He didn't steal Christmas.
But this episode doesn't do that. It's much more subtle, and those unspoken words, those clear actions of doing the right thing for your family, is what makes this one so powerful in the end. It opts for this beautiful poem recitation from an emotionally guarded girl, with her brother making strides musically and her big sister being there as loving support. It chooses to silently portray that magical togetherness only a family can achieve, using that music to tie it all together and nestle into your heart. And if that's not the most perfect, beautiful, powerful moment for a Christmas special, well, then I don't know what is. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know this one went a tad longer than normal, but I really wanted to do this episode justice, especially after seeing how much people love this one. So that's my take on the episode, but I would love to hear your thoughts on it down in the comments below. What did you resonate with most from this one? And do you agree that this is the best Christmas episode from Bob's Burgers yet? Before you leave, don't forget to leave a like and share this with another fan of Bob's Burgers, and consider subscribing. I'd love to have y'all stick around and see what's next. I've got a bunch of other Bob's Burgers related videos, including rankings and more video essays like this one, and you can check those out using the playlist in the outro. That's the easiest way to support this channel and let the YouTube algorithm gods know that I'm still here. But as always, thank you all so much for tuning in and sticking around. I hope you all have a very happy holiday season. I will see you all next time.
Keep the change. Happy holidays.
I hope you'll find what you're looking for.
That's not a good thing for a cab driver to say.